episode number 2 of Barbell Banter. We have Sam here and Noah, and of course our technical camera.
Just call me the camera guru for
the
right
guy
now.
of all trades, the janitor, you name it. He
Mr.
does it.
On everything.
Mr. On everything.
On
I like
everything,
that. I like
yes.
that. That's good. All right, so welcome, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Noah traveled. How long did it take?
About
you to
3 hours.
3 hours to get here today.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here, Noah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you said 3 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just hit me like you said 30 minutes. Like I was like,
I
30.
saw your head calculating that. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Appreciate
You
it.
know, and definitely having a safe trip back. You know.
So let's start off with Noah first. You want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little about you.
Sure. So I guess why I'm here. Played college football at the Division III level. I was a quarterback and played a lot of sports in high school. And obviously have been around sports my entire life. And I felt like I had something to offer and at least give some advice. I always felt a passion to give back to the people that wanted to go play college. Because it's not an easy road, and it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice as a young adult for sure. And I've always wanted to give back a little piece of what helped me do it. So.
Very good. And Sam here, our one and only Sam, who runs our sports development class. Sam, I met you 2019. I want to say. About that when we were back at Gold's. When I met Sam, I knew Sam was different, right? Because like people tend to, I don't want to say be the same, but like you can tell who somebody is. And Sam had that quality about him where he was different. Like this was actually like his passion. It wasn't something that he was just doing, right? He had his own business at one point, which he'll tell you. And his mindset on helping people is just, it's at a whole nother level, right? It's just not about training somebody to get stronger or faster. It's about the mindset part of it too, which is a big part because in the game, whatever sport you play, it doesn't matter what sport you play, the mindset of who you are and believing in yourself and how you carry yourself is a big part of the game because I can come up to you and start trash talking to you and throw you right off your game, right?
Yeah, I'm about to throw you off right now. I'm trash talking. First of all, you didn't even let Sam introduce himself.
No, I'm getting it. I'm letting Sam get it. I have to introduce Sam because to me, like Sam's my guy.
I was just sitting there saying, you can just keep talking about me.
No, you was good. No, it was a joke. It was a joke. Like you basically gave him like an introductory.
Yeah.
Now we're bringing to the stage.
Yeah.
You
Sam.
know this.
It's like back in the old days when he used to announce the king, and you gotta give him like 3 different titles. That's Sam.
Right.
All right, go ahead, Sam. Tell me about yourself.
So I think like a big part of that is just my love for fitness, my love for staying active. I was fortunate enough to play some college hockey when I was attending IEP in the University of Pennsylvania, and was fortunate enough to coach there as well after I was done playing. And hockey's been a huge part of me, but that's just one aspect of fitness in general. I just love staying active, and I love encouraging others to do the same. And to me, it's like it doesn't matter what you're into. I'm going to support it. If you told me that you're this big yoga person that, I don't really do a lot of yoga, but that's awesome. Like, I'm happy for you. If you're a big rock climber, I love climbing rocks. That's sweet. Whatever. I don't care what it is. If you're moving your body and staying active, that makes me really happy inside somewhere. So you talk about like how I just have care for others. That's really what it comes down to. And kind of the same as Noah. Like since I had the opportunity to play college, I was never a great hockey player, but I somehow scratched and clawed my way onto a college roster. And so I saw like a lot of my teammates growing up could have played at that level, and they just didn't for whatever reason. And here I was saying, well, I believe I can, and I had a chance to do it. And then instantly after that happened, I thought, well, how many others could I help do the same thing that are right there that need just a little extra help? And so that's where coaching at the college level happened. That's where when I moved here to York, PA, I coached a 16U and 18U hockey team where I helped kids play college. I have probably upwards of 10 kids that I've coached that are now playing on a college roster right now. So it's just something that I'm really proud of and that I am blessed and thankful to have had the opportunity to have done in my life. So
That's good.
Awesome.
I think with that, that'd be a good segue into moving into the mindset of the game. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, this is your cup of tea, huh? You want the mindset bit, huh?
You know, everybody's mindset's a little bit different about things. My mindset was I didn't have anything given to me in high school, or like Sam said, he scratched and clawed to get his way on a college roster. You know, playing quarterback in high school in a wing tee offense where I was handing the ball off 50 times a game. I threw the ball 107 times my senior year.
Wow.
And I was one of 10 quarterbacks on the roster day one of practice my freshman year at Keystone College. So that was pretty intimidating, and especially talking to guys who threw 107 attempts in their first 2 games.
Right.
And, you know, we play 10 games a year, so that was a big shock for me. And then you know, you gotta tell yourself, you know, not everybody gets to play college sports. You know, it's a blessing, and you know, you earned your way there. So I think the biggest mindset part is sometimes when, you know, everybody hits that freshman wall. That's the biggest thing I wanted to talk about with mindset is if you don't hit the freshman wall, there's something wrong. You know, you always hit a freshman wall, no matter what sport you're playing in college. Mine came pretty early, like right after camp. You can't explain it until you get there, you know. Then you just question why did I do this? Why am I here? Like you start to question a lot, but then you got to remind yourself that you deserve to be here,
right,
and that you earned your way here. And then you gotta find enjoyment in the little things. You gotta love your teammates. You gotta find your little niche or your little group in your teammates. And fortunately, that was what helped me to keep going. Was my guys. So.
Did you ever experience any like hazing or anything like
Oh
that?
no.
Okay.
The college locker room's pretty tight.
Oh,
That whole hazing thing, that's kind of, I mean, it's pretty frowned upon now.
Oh, okay.
But that's really something you only deal with in high school. But which is kind of sad that we have to deal with it in the first place.
Right.
But the college locker room's pretty special. It doesn't matter 40, 50 years from now. I'll see one of my guys, and you know that's something you can't, especially about the football locker room that's special, is you can't take that away from me.
Right.
That's like it's just a bond that you can't really explain.
I liken it to like being at war. You know, like to me, it's like you're like a soldier. You know, you're fighting on a team. Like your army versus the next army, right?
Well, I mean, you're
So
together,
it's kinda like,
you're together so often,
right?
with practice and meetings and everything, and that's another thing about mindset is you gotta be ready to. It's a full-time job,
Right.
Yeah.
And then
especially
the
college
injuries.
sports. And well, in college you're doing two full-time jobs. You got school and you got your sport. You know, like there's not even time to work. You know, so you got to save up your money from the summer and stuff and make it as long as you can. And, but
Was juggling that tough? Like,
no doubt. Especially sports in school. I mean, there's nights where you just don't get to do anything else because you got practice, and especially like me on the week. Like I took 21 credits my senior season. So that was 7 classes.
Yeah.
and worked and played
No, I did
sports?
not work.
Okay.
I did not work. Just during football
Okay.
season.
Got you.
So I wanted to graduate early, so I
Right,
took
right.
7 credits that summer, and then took 21 credits my senior season. And that's 7 classes. That was a lot. Like and I had to have all my homework done by Friday because I wasn't doing it on the weekend. That's for sure.
Right.
Because Saturday's game day and everything. And, it was a lot, but you know, if you love what you do, you're gonna find a way to get it done.
Yeah, sounds like you
So-
got to be prepared for that.
And yeah, the whole mental health of college athletes, that's a whole nother episode we could talk
That's a
about.
whole other episode.
But,
For sure.
But
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it takes a lot of preparation to like be just juggling all of those things,
Yeah.
and then like because I played sports in high school. I never went on to play sports in college, but I got injured in high school, and also seen some really bad injuries from other teammates, and it was just like, I don't know. This just came to me real quick. I wanted to say this earlier, but basically, like when they got injured, I felt it. You know what I mean? When I saw like my friend's femur snap, like I wanted to go choke the dude that did it. You know what I mean? Because it was like, I mean, we're playing sports, but sometimes some guys do stuff that's on call.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just wanted to say that real quick. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You must have been a very prepared guy. What are some of the things that you do, like as far as
there's ways you can prepare, and then there's ways you can't prepare.
Yep.
So of course, like my dad also played college football, so I got a little bit of an inkling. The only teammate I knew before we got to school my freshman year left the team
Really?
before the first team meeting.
Wow.
So
He just didn't
he was
want
on
that.
campus for 3 hours.
Why do you
decided
think
it
he
wasn't
left?
Yeah, you never know. Everybody's reason's different, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the most harsh thing to say is college sports is not for everybody, because it is not.
Yeah.
It's definitely not.
Yeah, I saw that too. Like, just to interrupt here a little bit. That's kind of what I was saying with like, I played with a lot of kids that could have played, but just chose not to.
Yeah.
Like they were way better than I was.
Well, and then getting to college and experiencing it, and then going through it, that's a whole nother thing. Like that whole freshman wall, there's few and far between that get through it.
Yeah.
You know, getting to college sports is extremely special, but playing all 4 years is also a whole nother task. And I mean, that's like staying healthy, of course. I was blessed enough to stay healthy. All four, well, I mean, sophomore year got canceled because of COVID, but all 3 playing seasons. I mean, sophomore year we still practiced and everything, so I was able to stay healthy for the most part. I mean, obviously you're gonna get banged up, but like back to the whole preparation. Like you can be told that there's 10 quarterbacks on the day one, on the day that you show up, but you can't prepare until you're there.
Right.
You know, for a few weeks, I was getting 2 reps of practice because we had so many quarterbacks. You know, so like you got to make what you get count.
Right.
Like you don't. For the first few weeks when you're there, you're a number. You're a number on the roster. You know, and to a lot of bigger programs, that's really all you are. All 4 years is a roster filler. You know, you gotta make your reps count, and you gotta earn what you get, and once you get it, you gotta make it count. You know, so that like you gotta prepare. I always told myself I was going to prepare like the starter every single day, day in and day out, and week in and week out, because you have to.
That's the mindset you have to have.
When your number's called, you have to be ready, because when you get that chance, you know, you have to make it count. And unfortunately, I made some chances count more than others, but you know, we're all human and we're not perfect. But you know, there's so much reward in just getting that chance. That's what I felt like. I was just blessed enough to get the chance, you know. No, because no chance is a wasted chance unless you don't take it.
Okay.
So there was always stuff you learn from. I mean, you can always learn and grow from your failures anyway. So
Absolutely.
So that was the biggest way I looked at it. But you got to prepare to be the best. You got to be prepared to be the athlete that you want to be day in and day out, even if you're not there. And then once you're there, you got. I mean, are we ever really there?
Right.
But
right.
That's another thing.
I just keep hearing you say it over and over again in my head, and over and over again in my head. I keep hearing 2 reps.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that's what I think that a lot of, you know, like I'll just talk about my experience. You know, my experience. I was recruited my junior year of high school, and so my senior year of high school, we were talking about this the other day. Like, I just screwed around and got distracted and lost focus, and then turns out like I go to camp my freshman year and I actually get cut from the team. You know, and so then like I spent the whole freshman year like working out and like any chance I got, like, hey, could I just practice with the team even? You know, and then finally my sophomore year I got the chance, and I think like that's honestly a trap that a lot of high school athletes that have a chance of playing college can find themselves in, where they get too big and they're the star of the show, and they're the starting quarterback and they're scoring every touchdown, or they're the starting player on the hockey team or the basketball team or whatever, scoring and then all of a sudden they get to college and it's like, you're getting 2 reps, bud.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what helped me so much, because my name was not in lights in high school. I was going into my senior football season. I wasn't getting recruited yet.
Yeah.
I didn't start getting recruited until about halfway through my senior year.
Yeah.
My senior season. So I had no clue what I was going to do. I wanted to go play college ball, and then as soon as I started getting recruited, I was like, you know what, this is my only shot, and I got to make it count. You know?
Right.
So,
right.
Another big thing is like for athletes that are looking to get recruited, like be respectful to the people that are recruiting you. No matter who reaches out, and give them your honest feedback. If you don't want to go there, fine, just tell them.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because obviously connections in college sports is a huge thing, and coaches know each other. So you do want Coach Sturdy, obviously. You know, the biggest thing is just communication in through recruiting, and that's a whole other thing we could talk about, a whole other episode too.
Yeah.
But,
Now we're trying to balance all of this out. You know, we don't
one thing.
Exactly. We want to balance it out and make sure.
Yeah.
You know, we can save some for later, right?
Later.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think we can kind of segue with this though, even though we want to balance it out. Like we talk about being respectful to people. One of my big things when I'm working with athletes in the gym here is posture, and it's very applicable to a lot of the workouts you're doing. You know, like think about like a deadlift. It's a hip hinge. We want that nice tall back. We want that nice flat back, so that we're not rounding the back, not rounding the shoulders. It's in the hips, you know, and that's what we're trying to work there. And so I always say this, and I say it on purpose. I don't say flat back, chest up. I don't do that old school coaching lingo. I say positive body language, chest up, eyes up. That's what I say, positive body language every single time, so that my athletes make that connection that I'm practicing, even in this exercise, even in this set and rep, I'm practicing to shake my future coach's hand. Like I'm practicing to shake my future employer's hand. Like, yes, positive body language. When I walk into the room, my chest will be high, my eyes will be forward, and I will look to find someone to shake hands with, and I will look to be respectful and be that person that's a standout. That oh, what's up with this person over here? They must have been part of some program somewhere where they were taught to do the right thing.
It makes a big difference when you meet.
Well, and it sounds cliche saying that, but you know, a lot of like in college, like especially when you're getting recruited, it's all about first impressions.
Right.
You know, like your first impression is your best impression. You know.
Yep.
So I mean, like how you said, positive body language and how you shake your coach's hand, and
Yes.
I mean that's huge, especially goes in a big way, like a huge way in recruiting. I know, like my visit to Keystone, I only took one visit, and I committed it right at the end of the visit, and I was with a group of kids. They were just on their phones the whole time, and like they just didn't have a care in the world to be there, and you know, like I mean, well, it's a privilege to get, you know, sometimes it doesn't hit you, but you know, it's a privilege to get recruited. Not like, I feel like sometimes we lose sight of that.
Take it for granted.
Yeah.
They don't have enough passion. You know, it's kind of like they've just been doing it for so long and they're good at it. You know, it's kind of like it almost gets boring. And it's almost like
when it comes easy, it's not a thought to be like, I have to work for this, right?
Right.
It's like going back to what we were saying before. Like if you're that person in high school and you're the star of the football team, and then you know people are trying to recruit you at your sophomore year, whatever it is, so you're just like, I'm good, right? You don't have to worry about that. And you just that mindset carries on into your college years. Yeah. And you can see it in some of the pros that come in, like what's that quarterback's name that everybody's talking about now?
Mahomes?
No, the rookies. He's just went to the combine. He didn't want to do the combine because he felt like he didn't have to because his numbers are there. I forget.
Caleb Williams.
Yeah, Caleb Williams. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually think it's even like, I think you're right, Ned, but I actually think it's even something different. I think like, for me, I had so many positive influence in my life, and so many great coaches and teachers that it's like, they taught me better. You know what I mean? Like for you, like I know your dad pretty well, and like he would be embarrassed if you were on your phone during that. You know what I mean? And
That'd be a problem.
I think it's almost like some of these kids that get chances to play at the college level, they get these college recruit trips, even for some D3 school in the middle of nowhere that maybe they don't want to be there, but that's fine. Like, still be a respectful young man or a respectful young woman. Like, I think that the problem with a lot of these kids that have those opportunities these days that blow it on their phone when a coach is trying to talk to them is they never had someone say, "Hey, put your phone away." Like, no, you're here right now.
Right.
Put your phone away. This is serious, and whether you want to be here or not, like, you will be respectful because that matters. It's a rep. It's what it is. It's a rep, just like any workout. Like, this is a rep. You have an opportunity here to make an impression on someone, whether you want to be with them or not. And so, like, don't leave a bad impression. Like,
so now, what do you do when the parent still sticks up for that kid? You know what I mean? Because that's the first thing that came to mind when you said that. Yeah. You saying that to because it depends. Because I'm not a parent. You know, you got. I mean, you're parents. Mm-hmm. So let's say coach yells at your kid. Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, and like, my son is just 2 years old at this point, right? I daydream about this moment even now. I really do, because it's like, I don't seriously I never want to coach my kid's team. Right. That is one, and people are always like, "Oh, you're." Like, I quit coaching hockey last year so I could start doing this gym thing again, and I miss it a lot. Like, I love coaching hockey. It's definitely a hole in my heart right now. But one thing that people have kept telling me that are still in coaching are like, "Sam, you're going to be back in a couple years when Jack's old enough." And no, I don't want to coach his team because
I'd rather be the dad in the stands.
Yes. Right. Well, again, positive influences. My dad was the dad that was in the corner drinking his hot chocolate, never said a word to anyone, didn't get involved in any of the drama. We got in the car, and I was shocked when I found out that kids had bad car ride homes. I never knew that was a thing, because my whole hockey career, it was, did you have fun? Did you work hard? That's it. Yeah. And it was never there was one time I remember him giving it to me because it was pretty clear that I dogged it that game. Well, I deserved it.
Every kid needs that talk.
Yeah, I deserved that, right? But then it's for me, as a dad, I want to do it a lot differently than I see parents doing it these days. I think that, it's tough. I'm trying to understand a little bit of the psychology of parents these days and understand why they're like this. But I do see a lot of the coddling. I do see a lot of the umbrellas and no, you can't talk to my kid that way. And and I'm willing to listen to any parent and talk with them. Right. But I think at the end of the day, it comes back to when you have that parent that just doesn't understand that, hey, the behavior of your child is not acceptable.
Do you think that's one of the hardest parts of being a coach?
Yes, yeah, for sure. When I was coaching, that was really tough to have those conversations. But I think at the end of the day, the way I tried to wrap those conversations up was hey, I really care about your kid. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just some coach that's on some type of agenda that, I just care about your kid, and what I saw was not something I think is gonna serve him very well. Right. And here's the adjustment that I think that we need to make, and how can I be part of this process to make them their best, because it comes back to they need to enter the room, chest up, eyes up, shake the hand, and be respectful, and do their best in life. And
one thing that you said stood out to me was a Division III school in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Played at a Division III school in the middle of nowhere. I think a lot of shade gets thrown on. You're not going D1, you're not going D2. Mm-hmm. Then why are you going to play? College sports is still college sports, whether it's D1, D2, D3, or NAIA. There's still a very, very small percentage of athletes from high school that actually get to play college sports, no matter what type of level you're playing. Yep. College sports is still college sports. Right. I played against, my first start came against a front seven that has 2 active practice squad players on the Titans right now.
That's awesome.
So, and but it's cool.
And that's deep. And
that was Division III.
Division III,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody
So-
thinks you gotta be D1.
Yeah.
Practice squad NFL is still no joke.
Right.
I mean,
You're-
you can get
you
called
can-
up on a Saturday and go
Yeah.
play on Sunday. That's for sure. But, so I feel like there's so much shade thrown on some of the lower levels in college just because of it's not D1 or it's not a PSAC school or
You're not playing at ESPN or
Exactly.
Fox or whatever it is.
Exactly.
college sports is still college sports. You gotta
Absolutely. Yeah.
it's a blessing no matter what. And I think a lot of times, I think a lot of times the sight of that can be lost. So that was just one thing I wanted to
No,
touch
for
on.
sure. I love that. I think it comes back to like passion and love. Like, do you love that or not?
Yeah.
Like, do you love your sport or not? Because
Yeah.
if you love it, maybe you didn't get a chance to play D1, but you have a D3 offer.
Exactly.
Like, go play.
Yeah.
Like, what are we
Yeah.
doing here? Like, if you're gonna be in college and like, have to do the grind of being a student,
Yeah.
maybe you might want to have a release and go smack some people.
Yeah. Well, and
Me,
that's a whole nother thing. Like, don't just go to college to play sports. You know,
Yeah.
go to college to get your education because
Yeah,
there's
for sure.
always life after sports. That's what I've always told my kids that I've coached. There's always life after sports. So don't get too wrapped up in what you're doing because there's always school matters.
Yeah.
There's the word student athlete. Student comes first for a reason.
Right.
So that's a whole nother thing that we could talk about. But
Absolutely.
touch
Well,
on
hey,
it all.
that's why we did this
But,
today. I
yeah.
feel like we might be able to, do a sequel.
build off.
Build off of it. Let's watch it back, pull some topics out of it, and then we'll get it even more structured. Because I don't know if y'all noticed, I kept trying to throw in the words.
Well, I mean, we talked about it all. In 10
No,
minutes
you hit them.
anyway.
You hit everything.
Yeah, no.
You hit
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
which was like it all worked out. I feel like
Yeah.
basically we got enough information. This is getting ready to come down to. I got about 10 more minutes on this camera right
Nice.
here.
Yeah.
So, if anybody want to say any last final points, touch points, or
Yeah, I think like the one big thing that I did want to hit here is like playing college sports. What that did for me. You play a sport through high school, and that's great. And it's like that was back in high school I played, but for me when I played that college sport, it definitely fueled a passion to keep doing it and to keep playing a sport and to keep active and like. I don't know. I think that I look at kind of full circle at the beginning of this episode here. I talked about how like I don't care what you do. I used to hate running, and it's like, but now I love it, and now it's something that I really do a lot of because that's just me, still trying to be a college athlete. Still like, hey, I want to do something active, and here's an opportunity to go challenge my body and try and run an extra mile that I didn't think I could, and I can run a marathon, or I can run an ultra marathon, or one day I could run this crazy race through the woods or whatever,
Right.
And it's like what I think is cool about college sports is that it does, if you have a positive experience, which sounds like you did, and
Yeah.
I know I did, like it's only gonna further cement that. And it's not just this thing that you did when you were a kid. It's no, I was a young adult who was balancing everything, who did it because I had a passion for it, and I was eating ramen noodles and trying to get all the work done, and still playing on the weekend, and like now it's like that's just who I am. Like I don't care what job I have in the future. I'm gonna make sure that I make time for working out because it was too much fun. It was too good.
I feel like I could talk to the other side of that. Is
Yeah.
when I was done football my senior year, I was done. I was just. I've never not taken a break in my entire life, and I was like, I just need a little break. I was like, I'm not going to the gym again. And a few months later, it never leaves. Especially if you grew up playing something. And college definitely doesn't help it, but it enhances it, I guess. The drive to do something and to not sit on your butt will never leave.
Right.
So.
And you had the other aspect of it too, because you did powerlifting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So for you need to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was it's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
It's if you have the opportunity, take advantage of it. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
Now you're at Planet Fitness, just moving.
not anymore. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Just moving and eating pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Ned.
Pizza? Who, me?
Yeah.
I didn't order the pizza today. They're making fun of me. We went to Parma and we got a sub,
Oh, nice.
chicken tender sub. This is like the third day in a row I got it.
nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm out of control right now.
Yeah.
It's a problem. But I was gonna order a pie,
Yeah.
and they were making fun of me. They were saying that I couldn't eat a whole pie by myself, which we all know that's a lie.
I mean, of course you could.
would.
I was saying
if I was a
in
betting
that
man,
time.
If I was a betting man, I'd probably say that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
But the real bet is who can jump higher, Sam or Ned.
Sam, right now Sam can.
Right now.
Right now.
What
I'd have to
you
work
training?
Because you got that sub in you, or
Yeah, because I got the sub. in me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
train.
That too. I haven't been doing any.
Got to
gym.
drop a couple pounds first.
I just pick things up and put them down right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't been doing that part of training,
Yeah.
which I should.
He can.
I saw you jump the other day. I was like, okay, kind of light on your feet.
Yeah.
That was just once.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
You saw what happened when I was jumping.
You almost it ended up in the tire.
Exactly. I went double time. Like, as soon as I touched the ground, back up, and I only was able to get like 3. After the third one, my legs gave out.
I went double time. He says, I love it.
Nah, it is. It's double time.
Yeah,
It's like doing when you jump rope 1,
Yeah.
2, instead of doing
Doing
that, you
doubles.
doing
You
doubles.
start to. Yeah.
He was feeling it. He's feeling
I
himself.
was feeling it. So I was, instead of jumping
Like
up
a
and
regular
down, I was
person.
just like jumping up
You
like
missed
that,
it.
but
It
I
almost
missed it
went
on
right
one.
The strength coach in me is like, you mean tempo?
You know what I meant.
But like, yeah, double time. I love that.
Well, the music
I'm gonna-
person in me is
I'm
like
gonna use
tempo is music.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna use that this week though. Like, all right, double time, guys.
Yeah, we do need something. How can we close this out?
How do I push end?
how do I?
It's
No, it's gotta be right though.